The common narrative suggests that apostasy is a capital crime in Islam. Yet if it were a central binding law, the Quran would be explicitly clear about it, commanding specific punishments for those who leave. However, the reality is that the Quran never once gives such a command, providing no law, no punishment, and no human authority for such enforcement. Instead, it states the exact opposite. There is no compulsion in religion. This absence of a death penalty is notably evident in verse 217 of Surah Al-Baqarah, where the text mentions those who turn away. It describes their consequences as being personal, internal, and spiritual strictly between them and their Lord, never once mentioning execution or human interference. If this were a universal law intended to protect the community, it would be direct and repeated throughout the text like inheritance laws. The Quran even describes a cycle of people who believe and disbelieve and then believe again, yet it remains silent on punishment. Think about the logical implications. If the law was to kill those who leave, there would be no opportunity to believe a second time. By allowing for a return to faith, the Quran implicitly demands that the door remains open and the individual remains alive. Compulsion is not just physical force. It is the pressure, fear, and control used to maintain a person's belief against their will. When someone is invited freely, only to find the door locked when they wish to leave, the system has ceased to be a religion. It has become a trap. This creates a massive logical contradiction because the Quran explicitly addresses forced declarations of disbelief. If forced disbelief is not accepted by Allah, then how can forced belief be accepted by us? We have effectively built a hypocrisy factory. By threatening people into staying, we aren't producing believers. We are producing actors. The Quran reserves its harshest criticisms for the hypocrites, those who say with their mouths what is not in their hearts. We are essentially demanding that people lie to God so that we can feel comfortable in our social structures. Not a single one of the 57 Muslim-majority countries has implemented this as a unified, consistent law across centuries. This collective hesitation suggests an instinctive realization that such a rule cannot be reconciled with the Quranic framework. Allah never appointed any human being as a guardian or contractor over another person's faith. True migration hijrah is the act of leaving behind anything that blocks the truth. It is the courage to walk away from social chains. It is a stinging irony that many Muslims currently migrate to seek justice, stability, and freedom in lands they call non-Muslim. If Islamic values were meant to produce peace, we must ask, why are people running from Muslim societies to find it elsewhere? We cling to the golden age like a security blanket, but a golden age is not a destination. It is a standard of justice you maintain. The Quran is a living document that demands freedom and choice. It does not need a sword to defend it. No scholar, no government, and no neighbor has the right to stand between a human being and their creator. It is time to reclaim the radical freedom of the Quran, where the only authority is truth itself. If you found this video useful, give it a like, and please consider subscribing. We look at the true Islam of the Quran, stripped back, and free from 1,400 years of human interpretation and cultural baggage. We are here to ask the hard questions and return to the source, ensuring that our path is guided by the book that was sent as a mercy to the worlds, not as a manual for control.